5:30 in the morning. I'm at Annapolis, Maryland at the U.S. Naval Academy. I'm Coy Wire, and this is Sea Trials. Let's go, Tudor! Go, go, go! We're getting ready to do low crawl. We gotta push these ammo containers all the way to the opposite end. I think I'm a pretty tough wire, but I'm not as tough as this wire, barbed wire. I hope I don't scratch my head. How you feeling right now?
I'm loving it, man. You know, early in the morning, I still got a lot of energy, but we'll see how it is later on.
It's a long day, baby.
A long day, but.
They're doing their exercises in the water, the wet and sandy, which sounds fun at 5:30 in the morning in 50-degree weather. Woo! You're only as strong as your weakest link, and this shows them that they're only as strong as their weakest link. So they learn how to work together, they learn how to communicate together, and just work on focusing on the mission. And they're gonna need that when they become those future leaders when they go to the fleet.
These plebes are tired, their feet hurt, they're wet, they're sweaty. It's just a very long day for them physically and mentally.
Let's eat! Up! 100. Up! Down. Wow. Right side go, left side go. Got some in my eye, got some in my ear. Heart's beating, feeling alive. No joke, baby. This is no joke. It's tough, and the crazy thing about it is we've already been doing this for 10 hours. Strong mind is what this takes.
We're at pool phase right now. We have pool PT behind us, out of water PT, swim relays, and then two really cool events are we have a rifle overhead tread, so the plebes will be in the water with the rifle over their head treading and working on teamwork. And we'll have a group of plebes going underwater and undoing walks while holding their breath, while their teammates are out there giving them the combination. So it's a really neat event, great team building.
Whatever you do, don't do the flying squirrel. I have no idea what it is, but I don't think I want to find out. Dizzy. Look at this determination. What keeps you going? What are you thinking about as you're going through all this?
Everybody around us, everybody around me, everybody here. We've been learning about everything from leadership to like building up each other, encouragement, trust, all of that throughout the year. So this is like the culmination of all of that.
We're about to head into the endurance course. This is a 3.1 mile course with some uphill, some downhill, some obstacles.
Go ahead, babe. Go, there we go.
Hey, come on, you guys, finish strong!
What kept you going? Why didn't you quit?
These people. I have so many people here. They're looking out for me. Honestly, I've never felt anything like that before. Like, it gives me shivers thinking
Does it
about
inspire you to be that for someone else now?
it. No doubt, no doubt.
It's been 14 hours of blood, sweat, and tears. They could have quit, but they didn't. Sea Trials is done. All right, many years ago, I was an NFL player, so I am pumped to bring you some Tuesday motivation from one of the most improbable success stories in the league today. Younghoe Koo, Korean-born, couldn't speak any English when he moved to the US at 12 years old. He was told, "You're not good enough." He was cut from his team. But now he's a Pro Bowler and one of the highest paid kickers in the NFL. Athlete or not, for those of you who have a goal to get or a point to prove, Youngway's message is this: tough times make us tougher.
You moved to the U.S., you're 12 years old. What was that transition like? What was that experience like?
Well, at the time, it was tough. Like, I was in middle school, like, I had a Korean friend that was, you know, in every single one of my classes, so he can translate for me if needed to be.
So you couldn't even speak English yet?
Yeah, I was in ESL for 2 years. So, you know, I remember, like, going home, so all day I'm just smiling, you know, like, nodding.
That's cool.
I don't want to look stupid, but also I don't know what's going on. And then I go home, it's like, I have no idea what happened today. And all they were saying was just like, hey, my name's this, nice to meet you, like, welcome or something.
How did football kind of help with that transition to life here in the States?
Big time. Without that, I don't think I would have, you know, known what to do, like, on the weekends. You know, like, I remember sitting in a car going to practice with a bunch of my friends, and I didn't know how to ask, like, hey, what do you guys do on the weekends?
You wanted to hang out.
Yeah, but I didn't know how to, like, phrase that or even, like, form a sentence at that time. So I just, like, I remember just, like, asking out, like, you know, I'm bored. But they're like, right now, like, in a car going to practice? I was like, no, like, on the weekends. So I, like, just threw stuff together. That, I remember that feeling. I was, like, nervous to, like, say something because, like, you know, I don't want to sound stupid, you know, at the time.
Of course.
So then that weekend they called me to hang out. So that's when I, like, really, like, picked up, you know, English and stuff like that. So without football, like, I probably wouldn't be talking like this or anything like that. So.
Did you ever experience, you know, racism being Asian American growing up?
I didn't really take it too hard. Like, I didn't really let anything, like, come to me just because they said something. Like, now, like, social media is like that, right? Everybody got an opinion. Everybody has something to say. Everybody can say something if they want to. It's not really my responsibility to soak that all in and absorb them. My dad taught me, you know, from a young age, he was like, hey, football doesn't know who's kicking it.
That's right.
You're white, black, Asian, whatever, like, when the ball's flying, they don't know who kicked it. They just see the result and they see the ball and they're like, all right, that kid's good.
27 years old. Has any of this hit you yet?
No. I learned a lot from my journey. I felt like I made it my rookie year when I won the job. Going into week 1, I was like, oh, this is it. Like, I did it, you know. Fast forward 4 weeks, I was cut, so I was like, it taught me. I was like, hey, this is never over. Like, you gotta compete every single day. Like, you gotta produce. It's a production business. That's what the head coach told me at the time when I was getting released.
What was that like when you know, you're at the Chargers, you think, I've arrived, and all of a sudden you're out in the streets?
Right, that was tough. That was tough for sure, because for the first time ever, in October, during the football season, I was just sitting at home. You know, that was a huge wake up, a kind of realization of like, hey, like what went wrong there? You gotta kind of dig in and see what went wrong and get ready for the next opportunity, so when it comes, this doesn't happen again.
What do you hope your story says to the next generation of Asian Americans?
I think representation is big, because growing up for me in football, there was nobody that looked like me, so it was harder for me to like visualize like, oh, he's doing it, like I can do it, you know, stuff like that. If you look at my story, you know, like I didn't speak English, I didn't know what football was, I was struggling to say, hey, what are you doing this weekend? To here, you know, like I think, you know, anybody can if they have a dream and just chase it and work hard, set a plan and go after it.
No matter what you're going through, surround yourself with good people, and remember, you can always gain strength through your struggles. You're more powerful than you know. For 10 out of 10 today, tips and tactics for greatness from two of the greatest athletes of all time. I recently caught up with Tampa Bay Bucs star QB Tom Brady and F1 star Lewis Hamilton to find out what's pushed them to become the best time and time again.
You both are strikingly similar. I mean, you both wear helmets to work. You're both very driven. You're in the driver's seat leading a team of people. You have to make split-second decisions with huge implications. What is something that you may see in each other, something innate within each of you that you have in common that has propelled you to greatness?
I think probably the things we have in common is that sheer grit, that focus, that drive to be better. Better than you were yesterday.
Right.
And precision.
There you go. Attention to detail.
Yeah, your precision, man.
Tom, you appreciate this. 6 months ago, I talked to Lewis, and you may not remember this, but before we started, there was the tiniest thread on his pants, and he asked for some scissors and cut it. And it hit me in that moment. I was like, this is a man who pays attention to the details. Like how you do anything is how you do everything, right?
Yeah.
Can you relate to that when it comes to that precision Lewis is talking about?
What I've really been inspired about Lewis over a period of time is, you always see, everyone thinks it's just Lewis in the car, but he recognizes it's everyone behind the scenes that are allowing him to be successful as well. And I've seen him when he wins, and he gives credit to everyone. And I've seen when he loses, how he doesn't, there's never blame associated with it too. So I always feel like our best moments in life come when we're facing, our most difficult challenges.
Average career is like 3.5 years. Lewis, I played 9 years, have a titanium plate, 4 screws on my neck. I thought that was good. This is going to his 23rd season. Both of you though, just iconic, high level of operation for decades more, right? So what keeps you going? What drives you? What is it?
For me, it's always just been trying to, I always feel like no one cares about what you did in the past. You have to be motivated to be your best this year. Everyone is showing up to buy season tickets for this season, not for what happened last year or 2 seasons ago. And I feel like when people make the commitment to you, in the end, you want to fulfill that, what they're coming to see. People want to come and see me do great. They want to see Lewis do great. They follow their sports heroes and their favorite sports teams because they want to see you, the thrill of victory. And I feel like when I make that commitment to play, it's a kind of all-encompassing commitment.
The greatest of all time, the GOATs. There's some bad men. You all are the greatest too. All right, take me out to the ball game. MLB playoffs are in full swing with the divisional series getting underway yesterday. Some of the favorites to win it all are the Astros and Yankees from the American League and the Braves and Dodgers from the National League. Did you know America's game is also the national pastime of Japan, drawing some of the biggest, most fun and polite fans you'll ever see. The games have singing, they have cheerleaders and quirky mascots and foods. Let's go to Tokyo now to catch a game featuring the city's most popular team. It may be America's pastime, but Japan takes baseball to a whole other level.
It's not even raining.
This is Tokyo's Jingu Stadium, and it's near capacity, full of fans watching the Yakult Swallows host bitter rivals, the Yomiuri Giants.
He hit to the left field.
Ryo Uchida is what you'd call a superfan.
Would you say that baseball in Tokyo is just as much a cultural experience as it is a sporting experience?
I would say so, because every American friend that I bring here, the game is familiar to them, but this atmosphere is not.
He's right, and you see it even before the first pitch. Hours earlier, fans pour in by the thousands. Most of them wearing team colors, others gearing up for the night. You may not find peanuts or Cracker Jacks, but the local options are intriguing.
Takoyaki, please. Si. Takoyaki, octopus. Only in Tokyo.
Out on the field, battle lines are drawn, and the teams warm up. Then come the cheerleaders. Yes, cheerleaders. By the first inning, the stadium is roaring. Christopher Pellegrini runs a podcast covering the Swallows, whose fans claim one of the most unique traditions in all of Japanese pro baseball. This happens at the 7th inning, and when the team scores.
It's a spectacle when you get this whole crowd like doing the whole dance, and there's a song, of course, because there's always a song.
Japan imported baseball from the United States over a century ago. Today, it's one of the country's most popular sports, especially given baseball's return to the Olympic Games here in Tokyo.
Everybody's for it. There's a lot of support. Everybody's all in.
It's not hard to see why, even from the outfield. Coy Wire, CNN, Tokyo.
All
right, being that we're at one of the most popular tourist destinations in all of Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Museum of Art, you know I had to take you on a run with me up the iconic Rocky steps from the 1976 film Rocky. Thousands of people flock to these steps every year to mimic one of the most famous movie scenes in the world. Rocky Balboa finishing a morning run at the top of these steps. And for all of you underdogs out there, keep outworking everyone every single day. Keep believing in yourself so that you can make your dreams come true too. I'm Coy Wire. This is CNN 10. Yo, Adrian! 19-year-old freestyle skiing phenom Eileen Gu from San Francisco won 2 World Cup events this past week, storming back into competition for the first time since the Beijing Winter Games, where she became the first free skier ever to win 3 medals at a single Olympics. Now, an injury during practice knocked her out of the X Games this weekend, but Eileen told me ahead of the Games how she balances being a student at Stanford University, a pro athlete, and professional model. And she's also telling us how she harnesses the power of her mind to help her shine. I remember in Beijing at the Olympics, you were journaling, you were writing affirmations before halfpipe, convincing yourself you weren't tired. How big of a role does training your mind play in your life?
Huge role. I think that for me, my biggest strength is my brain. I'm shamelessly a nerd. Everywhere I go, the reputation follows me. And you know, I'll take it. I definitely propagate it out there. And at the end of the day, I think that so much of skiing is in your own head. It's an individual sport, which means that your biggest rival really is yourself. And overcoming that fear, being able to perform on the day, learning how to deal with pressure. These are all things that are practiced, and they are behaviors that I've spent a long time learning about how I naturally cope with them, and then trying to exacerbate my strengths. So in that sense, I do a lot of journaling, I do a lot of thinking, a lot of reflection, a lot of visualization.
You once said your wish is to inspire young girls to break boundaries. What do you mean by that, Eileen?
I mean that growing up, I think so much of what you think is possible for yourself is dependent on what you see out there in the world. It can be on TV, it can be on social media, it can be what you see your friends doing. I guess it's just feeling as though you're not alone. Feeling that there's a place for you in the community or in the sport that you want to participate in. For me growing up, there weren't that many girls in the ski industry. There were a couple and I looked up to them a bunch and they really inspired me. But I guess what I want to do is, you know, I'm young and I'm trying to do my best and I just want to be the person that a girl at home can see on TV or on their phone and say, hey, you know, if she can do that, then I want to try it too. She looks like she's having fun. When can I try? And really that's all I want to do. I just want to be out there. I want to reflect the population that's interested in it and hopefully inspire someone to pick it up.
Today's story getting a 10 out of 10 is from right here in Texas. We've had a ball covering what's been called the wildest Final Four of all time, women's and men's. Last night in the women's championship game, it was LSU winning it all. They've been led all season by superstar Angel Reese and their Hall of Fame coach, of course, Kim Mulkey, who has some of the most flamboyant fashion in all of sports. You go, Tigers. Congrats to LSU. And tonight, right here in Houston, in that stadium behind me, the men's title game. It'll be San Diego State and UConn playing for all the marbles. I caught up with the head coaches from each team and found out that they are both superstitious.
I wear the same shoes, the same socks. You know, I'm trying to stay consistent with what I've got on for every game. We're on a win streak. I don't want to change anything.
Same shoes, how long you been wearing them?
They've been through 2 Gatorade baths, 2 cutting down of nets.
Is it true that you've been wearing a certain same sort of a clothing article for superstitious reasons?
Yeah, that's definitely true, as well as the socks. But the socks are unremarkable. They're just a blue pair.
But the same pair?
Same pair, and I've gone back to an older pair of shoes that I won at Rhode Island when we won in the NCAA tournament there.
All right, today's story getting a 10 out of 10 is the one and only Lewis Hamilton, widely considered as the GOAT, the greatest of all time in Formula One racing. He has more wins than any other driver ever and a record-tying 7 world championships. He started driving karts as a kid, and some people would make fun of him because he couldn't afford a fancy cart like other racers. But Lewis's dad said, "Son, let your racing do the talking." And today, Lewis has built himself into a legend with hard work, dedication, and belief in himself. You know, youngsters today, they see social media and they think success is easy and it's overnight. Not true. I think it's really important that they see legends like you had to grind before you shine. What was one of the jobs coming up and you look back and you just kind of giggle about it?
Cleaning cars, probably. I was cleaning cars for like a dealer in town. I worked at a clothing store, and I worked at a sneaker store when I was like JD Sports when I was a kid. So I tried a bunch of different things, but I was always, when I was at work, all I was thinking of is how I'm going to win the next race. And yeah, I think you're right. Today, I think people do see successful people on social media, and it's hard to understand how much grafting it takes to get to a good place. But the crazy thing is, I'm in my 17th year of this sport. I've been doing it 30 years. I'm still grafting. I'm still having to chip away. I'm still having to work like never before to be able to excel in a sport that's constantly evolving. The competition is constantly rising. It's getting more and more. It's getting tougher and tougher by the year. You just got to have the winning mindset and also that belief in yourself that you will get there, no matter how many times you fall.
Now, for those of you who saw my social media post on Monday and asked for us to do a story on it, you got it. Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, and Danny Garcia, they're today's story, getting a 10 out of 10. I was in San Antonio working on a project soon to come, and ahead of the XFL co-owners celebrating the championship win for the Renegades, I asked DJ and Danny a question specifically for all of you. What is the key to persevering through tough times?
There's faith, right? Faith, higher power faith. But there's also faith that lives in who you are. Maybe at that moment, you may not think, me feeling good about myself or my opinion of myself is the most important opinion. But in the long run, your opinion of who you are matters. You are what's most important. You matter to you, and whatever tough time is happening, time will make it better. Reaching out to people you love will make them better, but loving yourself will make it better.
Beautiful answer. I think, Coy, for the kids who are watching this in the classroom right now, you got to have that faith that things are going to get better. It's much easier for us to sit and say it than it is to do it, because that's always the case. But I've been there, you've been there, we've been there. I've been in some tough times, man, in my high school days, where I used to think, I don't know if I could get through this. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But keeping the faith. And also, I think it's really important for kids today, if you're going through it and you're going through some tough times, talk to somebody. That's important. Because I know how it was for me growing up as a kid. It wasn't, talking about my feelings was not cool. No. So I kept it all in here, and that's not cool. We like to tell kids, is if you're going through it, talk to somebody, get it out. Somebody out there is going to help you. And just keep in mind that when you talk to somebody, even if it feels funky or uncomfortable, you talk to somebody, that's your superpower. It's talking to somebody.
Powerful stuff from DJ and Danny Garcia. And when you realize their successes in life are probably a direct result of their positive attitudes, it kind of makes you want to have one yourself. Next up, a project that I am pumped to share with you. This Friday at 9 Eastern on CNN, I have an hour-long documentary coming out. It's on the whole story with Anderson Cooper, and it's called Hard Hits: Can Football Be Safe? I played 9 years in the NFL. I have a titanium plate and 4 screws in my neck, so I know how dangerous the game can be. But I was blown away learning about the technology and innovation being used to make the game safer now and for future generations. Could advancements in the game one day help keep players safer by predicting injuries before they happen?
Can your data potentially predict when a player might get an injury?
Absolutely. That's the culture change.
Christina Mack is an engineer and epidemiologist. She presents data to the NFL's competition committee, the group that reviews league rules and any potential changes every year.
If you rank teams over 5 years, where the Super Bowl trophies are.
Wow.
It's a winning strategy. Your players are more available, they're performing where they want to be performing, and they're not getting re-injured.
That's just some of the NFL's big data crunching. From high-tech body scanning that's being used at the NFL Combine.
1, go.
To tracking body movements to optimize performance and detect imbalances that could potentially lead to injuries. To sensors on the bodies, inside helmets and mouth guards.
Turning me into a video game.
We're having you go through a set of drills where we've tracked all your motions.
That's biomechanical engineer and lab CEO Jeff Crandall and his BioCore research team. All right, I'm all sensored up, and the idea is that they will be able to see, am I favoring any part of my body? Are there any anomalies, imbalances? Stadiums in the league this year will have dozens of these cameras that will be able to track players' movements. That way, if there is an injury on game day, they can go back and look at the data before that.
Bottom line is, with all of the information that's available to us, camera angles or sensors or injury data, we're going to get to the place where we'll understand risk and maybe someday be able to predict with some degree of certainty which players are more likely to be injured than others so we can intervene before it happens.
Go.
As for me, how did I do more than a dozen years after I left the NFL?
We see both knees and the left hip. It's causing too much load to go through your knees.
I didn't tell you anything on me that was bothering me, but each day when I wake up, neither knee feels great and my left hip is off.
The good news is if we look at you overall, we've normed all the players relative to the NFL population. You're right in the middle, so you've sort of still got it.
Still got it?
Still got it.
Okay, all right. On you.
Go.
Our CNN series, Champions for Change, brings you stories about everyday people who are lifting humanity up. My champion is Jesse Billauer, and his story reminds us that when we don't give up, we cannot fail. When Jesse was 17, he was named one of the top 100 surfers in the world, just weeks from turning pro. But one morning, he was thrown headfirst into shallow water and was instantly paralyzed. But he didn't give up. He helped to create adaptive surfing, went on to win 3 world titles, and he created Life Rolls On, the foundation which helps people discover and rediscover their potential that lies within.
The feeling that I get when I'm on the water, that's when I feel the most free. When I was a kid, I fell in love with surfing. By the time I was a teenager, I was on the right path to becoming a professional surfer, and Surfer Magazine named me as like one of the top 100 surfers in the country. People, they don't understand how lucky they are until something like that's taken away.
Take us back to that day, March 1996.
And the day was beautiful. The waves were really good, and I took off on a wave and pulled inside the barrel. And when I came out, the wave hit me in my back, and I didn't have too much time to put my hands up. It was shallower than I thought, and I hit my head on the bottom. My whole body just went limp and numb, and I knew I couldn't move. After that, I woke up in the hospital on this rotating bed. When the doctor told me that I broke the 6th vertebrae in my neck and that I was paralyzed, I was devastated. I mean, like, I'm 17 years old, I'm in high school, I'm about to be a professional surfer, and now I'm paralyzed. All I wanted to do was just be a kid and be with my friends. And it was a difficult time because I didn't know what my life was going to look like.
Growing up for me, sports were my life, just like Jesse Billauer. My dream was to make it to the NFL. I made it, but in my 6th season, I had a really scary moment. I hit this guy and his head came down and slammed right on top of mine, and I got this burning sensation down my neck. There was this tingling sensation like pins and needles down my right arm, and I didn't really have any strength in it, so I needed surgery. They put a plate and 4 screws, keeping my 5th and 6th vertebrae together. Fortunately for me, I was able to come back, but not everyone who gets a spinal cord injury can make it out on the other side the same as they were before. What happened to Jesse? It probably would have completely ruined most of us, but Jesse found out a way to shine.
And so it took a few years to really get back into the water to surf because nobody was really doing this before me. Started doing it more often and figuring it out.
Jesse Billauer is a trailblazer. He's one of the pioneers of adaptive surfing. The International Surfing Association created the World Parasurfing Championships in 2015. Jesse's won it 3 times. The thing is, Jesse not only got himself back up, he's now helping people around the world. He started his foundation, Life Rolls On.
We take people with various disabilities, surfing, skateboarding, and now fishing. We offer these things free to the public.
For us, having her not in pain all the time and happy, as you can see, it gets us through all the hard times.
I never thought I could surf. And when I met you, it made a big difference in my life.
It's amazing to be able to get back and to see the smiles on their face and the parents' face. And I mean, to me, that's priceless. At the end of the day, when the lights and the cameras and the people are all back at their house, to be paralyzed, lose that independence, that freedom, that's the real stuff that people need to like see. Surfing and all that's easy. Being paralyzed is hard. I don't think our circumstances truly define us because to me, I'm in a wheelchair. I shouldn't be able to surf, but I look at it like I just do it in a different way. Figure out the strength within inside you, and then you can help other people. I'm Jesse Billauer, and I'm a surfer.
Today we are introducing a new segment where we learn lessons from a leader. We're flying with the Atlanta Falcons and Grady Jarrett today. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler on the field and a shining light in the community as well. He's sharing some of his secrets to success that can help all of us, no matter what career path we may pursue. Hello, lovely people. We're here at the home of the Atlanta Falcons with the heartbeat and leader of the team, Grady Jarrett. He has worked himself into being a Pro Bowler and one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL. Thanks for spending some time with our CNN 10 family today, sharing some tips and tactics for achieving success in life. What inspires you, Grady? What motivates you?
Man, really, especially at this point, man, just being the best I can be, and that's in whatever aspect, anything I decide to get involved in, I want to be the best that I can be. And I feel like if I'm the best that I can be one of the best to do it. So, as a player, going out, emptying the tank every day, putting in the work, whether it's physical, mental, on the recovery side of things, just doing the things that's when it's time to go, I'm ready to go.
Now, things in life rarely go straight.
Yep.
How important do you think adversity is in shaping us as people?
Man, adversity is inevitable. It's gonna come, but it's how you handle it. When things get hard, that shows your true character. It's easy for you to be excited when things are going your way, when you know the outcome is gonna be good in your favor. You just gotta be ready for when adversity comes and to keep conquering. That's what life's about.
Now, for the athletes out there who may be going through some tough times, maybe facing a setback, an injury, a big loss, what advice would you have for them?
At the end of the day, all you can do is control where you're at right now and give your best foot forward every day, you know what I'm saying? So when you do overcome whatever you're going through, whether it's an injury and you miss some time, now you're back on the field, now you can appreciate them hard days when they come and you don't take it for granted because you know what it's like to not have it. I think sometimes people, we so hard on ourselves, like thinking, we should always feel happy, it's always should feel happy, always supposed to be good. But it's okay to be, down sometimes, sad. Like that don't make you a weak person. That don't make, or like it's something wrong with you or something like that. Like you're human. But at the end of the day, those time makes our higher times better, because you gotta know, like, pain is inevitable. Things not going your way is inevitable, but it's always about how you react to it and overcome it. You gotta have that undeniable, unstoppable mindset.
That is such a powerful point, especially in today's world of social media when you look and you're scrolling through these feeds and
all you see is everybody highlights.
Look and feel happy all the time. That's not real life.
Yeah, it's not real life, and that's okay that it's not real life. You know what I'm saying? I think when you look at it like it's okay not for everything to be okay, and then you won't be as hard as yourself or like feeling like, maybe you're getting so far left behind in life doing certain things, or you gotta run your race at your pace.
Now, for those folks out there who are striving to be great, is there a motto or mantra that you've learned along the way that helps drive you towards your full potential?
I want to do what I can while I can, so when I cannot, I will not, wish I would have when I could have. And all that mean to me is just don't have any regrets.
All right, one big lesson I'm reminded of by Grady is no matter how famous or successful you get, stay humble, stay hungry, never get too big for your britches. Keep shining, Grady. Thanks for spending time with our CNN 10 tribe today. I'm Coy Wire.
And I'm Grady Jarrett.
And we are CNN 10. Today's story, getting a 10 out of 10, is all about making wishes come true. This week at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, 7-time Super Bowl champ Tom Brady, New York Yankees slugger Aaron Judge, and Boston Celtics superstar Jason Tatum made wishes come true for a handful of children battling critical illnesses. Organized by Fanatics, the global digital sports platform, which announced it has become official sports partner for the nonprofit Make-A-Wish, the smiles on the faces were proof that the day was a big hit. In a world with seemingly lots of bad news lately, this day was a reminder that there's so much good that needs to be shared too, so we wanted to share these moments with you. What did this mean to you today to see all these smiling faces out here?
It meant the world. You know, we get asked to do a lot of things, and nothing more rewarding or inspirational than being around kids that, you know, have challenges, but, you know, continue to fight. And, you know, as much as we inspire and motivate them, they do the same for us. So, you know, when I got asked to do this, you know, I was super excited to be here today.
When I look through your social media, I see pictures with you and your hero, Kobe Bryant. And now you're that guy. So what's that mean to you?
It's crazy because, you know, I'm not that far removed from there. Like, you know, I'm 25. So, you know, I still feel like a kid sometimes. And, you know, I was excited to see Tom Brady today, right? So I feel like a kid. But, you know, seeing the smiles and how genuine their reactions are, you know, that's the best feeling.
I was not excited to see Tom Brady because I played 6 years for the Bills. He called me out. Catching passes, Coy, you never caught one. All right, man, so what message do you have for kids out there who are going through a tough time? How do you persevere and come out on the other side a little better?
I think, you know, it's tough, right? It's very tough. But you have to continue to fight, stay strong, have a good support system, have good people around you that care about you, like these kids and their families, seeing them here with their friends and brothers and sisters and parents. You know, it's great to see them have a support system because you need that, regardless of how old or young you are. A support system is big.
I know you came here to inspire some kids, but how inspired were you today by seeing them?
Wow, these kids are talking about, hey, you're our hero. You know, we've been waiting to meet you, and it's like, no, you guys are my hero. Like the strength you show on a daily basis, you know, the smile you have, you know, whatever you're going through, it's truly inspiring. So getting a chance to come out here and have some fun, you know, throw a couple pitches, have them hit a couple homers off me, and just enjoy a special day, I definitely won't forget it.
Why did you hit a home run off that one kid? I mean, you just jacked his.
You know, you gotta have a little fun with him. He was giving me a couple, you know, pitches down the middle, but he returned the favor. Once we flipped it, he was sending them to the seat, so we had some fun.
I love it. What do you hope these kids take away from today?
I just hope it's a great memory. You know, they share the rest of their lives. You know, getting a chance to come out here and, you know, you're hanging out with Tom Brady, Jason Tatum. Like it's, you know, you're out here on you know, the Barclays Center. It was just a special day that, you know, hopefully that, you know, whatever they're going through, whatever happens, you know, they can always look back on this day and bring a smile to their face.